I was at my lowest point. And New Year's Eve on my balcony, sitting there with my neighbor and just watching the fireworks. And that kicked off something in my system. It was so overwhelming to hear the sounds and lights. And I was not sleeping after that for 2 weeks. And I knew, yes, not getting any sleep was gonna play a thing on my system. So I would end up bedridden. That that was a self-fulfilling prophecy like that. The next week I was just able to lay on the couch because I got no energy to sit up. I love my sport, so I do long walks with the dog and still try to ride my bike as often as I can. And reintegrate some weightlifting back to work, seeing my colleagues, being able to do what I love because I'm very, very lucky. I'm so more relaxed.
How's it going, guys? Miguel here from CFS Recovery. In this video, we have Melanie all the way from Germany. A year ago, she was in a tough spot. She was needing all the help she can get, and she was at almost like her breaking point. She was like, I need to fix this. I cannot continue living like this. And that was about a year ago. 6 months after that, she was back to work again and starting to get her life back. And now she's working, she's exercising, seeing friends, she's got her life back. And it's just a really inspiring story. She's come a really long way in just a year. So Melanie, you want to quickly introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, sure. As you said, I'm Melanie. I'm 33 years old and I live in the beautiful city of Leipzig in Saxony in Germany. And I work in communications, so I'm excited to be on the other side of the camera.
Yes. So let's jump right into it. Let's start actually before you even got sick. So you actually got sick in May 2022,
That's
right?
right.
What kind of kicked it off? Was it a COVID case or just CFS case?
Yes, I caught COVID in May after I went to a concert. And my friend was not affected, but I had a pretty bad flu, flu-ish COVID journey. And after 2 weeks, I decided I had to try to get back to work. And I set a foot in there. I maybe was there for 5 or 10 minutes. I was starting to shake. All the symptoms, the flu-like symptoms came back, and I didn't set foot into work for over a year because my journey brought me downhill way too fast. Yeah.
So
It
that was
developed
May.
into COVID.
Yeah, that was May 2022 when kind of
Right.
life took a turn. Leading up to that point, were there any signs that you had a hypersensitive nervous system? Now that you know what it is, were there any signs leading up to it?
Yeah, looking back, they totally were. I was, always on edge. I just recently moved back to my self-chosen hometown, and I was on the brink of everything. I was so stressed, having a new job, new colleagues, new responsibilities. I was doing sports to just calm down. It was like 40 kilometers bicycle excursions just to, chill out. And I always been kind of an maybe anxious person. I got that from my mom, and I always worried about everything, and always I'm a little ADHS person, so my thoughts were all over the place all the time. So I was pretty much on edge all the time. Looking back now I'm such a zen person. If you like to how do you say it?
Compare.
Yeah, compare.
Yeah, if
If
we
you like to
compare,
compare those two types, I'm so chill now.
yeah, I'm the same way. Like I still have times where I'm really intense and type A personality, but I can control it now most of the time. I can pull back and not let it
Right,
control me.
right. I
So
was such a perfectionist, and I always do. You know the feeling when you you want to take a break, but you can't take a break because it doesn't feel
yeah,
productive. I,
yep.
it's not me anymore. I can take breaks. I can chill and just say that's my half hour. I won't do anything, and I won't think about anything. And even
hmm
that is a huge step forward for me.
Yeah. So, you get sick in May 2022 at this concert, then
Mm.
you try to go back to work, but your nervous system is just kind of screaming at you.
Yeah.
So, what happened after that over the next few months? Did things really start to get worse? And
Yes, they
what were you
did.
trying to do about it?
I was trying many things. I had a super lovely GP, so greetings. She hold my hand through the whole journey and had so much patience and took me seriously. It's something not many people here in Germany can say about their doctors. And I researched a lot because there was not much knowledge here in Germany. And she and me tried different things, medications, infusion therapy, and I searched professional literature. I searched the web. I course ended up in Facebook groups, and I tried everything they recommended there, like pacing myself, not spending too much energy, not wanting to land another crash. And
Hmm.
that's only led up to making me feel worse and worse. They recommended tracking your heart rate. I can absolutely not recommend that. That was a point that really kicked the downward spiral for me because I had spikes in my heart rate and where I like felt like an electric shock went through my system, and it's suddenly went upwards to like 160 BPM out of a sudden, and I thought something was terribly wrong with me. So that was not the great tip from the community.
Hmm. Yeah. So, what were the actual symptoms you were dealing with, like when you were in the thick of it? And
What
actually,
weren't?
yeah, it was all of it. How long did it take for you to actually hit that rock bottom? Because some people
Um,
it gets worse and worse over
yeah,
months, right?
yeah, it totally did. I was pretty like it was pretty constant over the summer. I tried to do sports, like getting into it, like a training plan. I'm a
Hmm.
very sporty person, so that was my way to try to get back into the saddle. And I took long walks and tried to ride my bike and stuff. And I did a little diary, like what did I do today, what did I felt afterwards. And I noticed, of course, the up and down line, but I never got better. I I came to a point where I overdid it, obviously, and I lay down on my couch, and like out of a sudden, I felt like I weighed thousands of tons. I couldn't move for over 4 hours, and that was the point where I was getting very anxious because I thought something is terribly wrong with my body. And I
Hmm.
had so much appointments after that. My heart was checked out. I had MRIs, ultrasounds, X-rays, and stuff. Like everything was fine. Everything came back fine. My blood was tested, and I finally had an appointment with an neurologist, and she told me, well, it totally looks like ME/CFS. And then I went to Google ME/CFS,
You saw
and
it, and then you saw the recovery rates and the horror stories.
yeah,
Oh,
the horror stories, yeah. And I was at a point where my brain was eating up all those horror stuff and was yelling, alarm, alarm, something is wrong, you have to not move anymore. And from that on, it really really took up speed. Like was October when I had an infusion therapy we tried as the last idea of my GP, and I was so in such bad shape afterwards that I feared that that would be the road for me. It's just going downhill from that on, and I may become bedridden or even die from it.
was it like B vitamins or adrenal IV treatment?
I think it was vitamin C stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
some vitamin stuff, but I my assistant didn't like it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so exhausted afterwards. I mean, I was exhausted at that point, pretty much every day, but that was on a whole another level.
Mhm. What were your family and friends saying about it? They were probably just as confused as you were when you're trying to
Yeah,
tell them what's going on.
absolutely. Yeah, here in Germany, like I felt like nobody knew anything. My neighbors were so cute. They always said, "Oh, I read another article, or I heard you could do this and that." And of course, since it's been such a long time, everyone went on with their lives. And I had sure I had contact with them, but you know how life is. You don't have time for your friends or family every day. So I've felt pretty lonely over the course of time. And my dad is an eternal optimist. He said, "You will get better. You gotta believe on it." And but my mom is anxious like me. I got it from her, so I have always like a little devil and a little angel.
Oh, yeah.
One is saying, "Oh my God, I hope you get better. How are you today? Are you worse?" and the other one says you're gonna get better. So
Mm,
yeah.
that's a tricky one. The devil and the
Mhm.
angel on your shoulder.
Yeah.
So with the symptoms, around that time in October
Yeah.
2022, just give us an example because some people they see you here today, they see like you're glowing with energy, and they're like, could she have been like really that bad? But what kind of symptoms were you dealing with?
Yeah. Like exhaustion, as I said. There was a time, was January 2023 when I was at my lowest point. I just had recently celebrated New Year's Eve on my balcony, sitting there with my neighbor and just watching the fireworks. And that kicked off something in my system. It was so overwhelming to hear the sounds and lights. And I was not sleeping after that for 2 weeks. And I knew, yes, not getting any sleep was gonna play a thing on my system and my energy. So I was so worried that this was the last straw that will break my camel's back. So I would end up bedridden. That yeah, that was a self-fulfilling prophecy like that. I was the next week I was just able to lay on the couch because I got no energy to sit up, and I had to do the necessities. I could walk to my supermarket that is like 5 minutes away in slow steps, get the things I needed to somehow survive. I lost a lot of weight at that time because I there was rarely a day where I had energy left to cook my dinner. I just ate bread or went to bed at 6 because I had no energy left. And yeah, the insomnia was insane for me. And at that around that time, my tinnitus started. I have it till today, but I don't care anymore. So it's a huge difference. And I think the most horrifying symptom for me were and still are my vibrations. I Now I'm calm when I feel them. I'm like, yeah, I know, I did a bit more today. You got it. Just I know. But at that time, it was like someone, took a drill and placed it at my spine and just set it on. So it was like my whole body was shaken internally, but you couldn't say it on the outside. But try to
Mhm.
sleep when someone is trying to drill through your spine. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I took
I
sleep medications and stuff, but it was a horrifying time. Plus the heart rate spikes. I developed POTS, like POTS, when you stand up, that your heart rate is going up high as well, and wasn't a nice time. Yeah. Plus the anxiety. Like I thought my life would maybe end because I couldn't just could sit on the couch and maybe stand up, go to the toilet, maybe took a little bit out of my fridge to eat. But that was my day. I listened to podcasts and stuff because I couldn't watch TV or read a book. My brain wasn't even able to grasp a sentence. So yeah, it was
Holy cow.
crazy time. Time wouldn't move for me, and every day was sorry, but every day was suffering as hell. And
Yeah.
I was at a point where I thought I don't want to live like that. If that is my life, I don't want it. So
Yeah.
it was very very dark time, and I'm
Yeah.
happy that I'm out of it nowadays. And
Yeah.
yeah,
It's crazy to think that that was only, just over a year ago,
yeah,
right? Where you had to
absolutely.
rock bottom.
Yeah,
That it's
I
like a
recently had
different
my birthday
life.
with you,
Yeah.
and
I
it was crazy looking back to the time because, as I said, I started the Gupta program for a bit, and it really helped get control over my anxiety. But it doesn't help me expand. I didn't. It doesn't show how you get out of this and get better. It just helped me not get worse. So
Mm,
yeah, I needed another solution, and I found it.
yeah. And when did you come across the CFS recovery content?
I think it was around December. I found Waylon Adel on YouTube, and from there it was just a little jump to got your channel suggested, and I watched the videos, and something clicked. It just resonated with me. All those advices about not spending your energy too much, just ever holding back, got energy left in your pocket for the day, and not doing too much, not trying to cause a crash. Mhm. And that wasn't, I didn't, never felt like this was the way to go, to limit yourself all the time. And yeah, your explanations resonated with me, and I was at such a low point that I knew I couldn't apply it myself, and I needed someone to hold my hand and carry me through this.
Yeah. And you decided to come on board. It was around March or April, but almost a year
Right,
ago,
it
right?
was 14th of March, 14, 14?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was March.
literally about a year and just about 13 and a half months ago. And when you came in, you know, at that point, what was your capacity level at? I remember you couldn't really leave the house. You could barely leave the house.
Yeah,
But you were about couch bound and housebound, right? About 13
right,
months ago.
right. I maybe I took 1,000 steps a day. I stubbornly tried to do at least 5 hours out of the house to see something out of yeah, out of my flat. Not all, I mean, I can look into greenery and see the trees, but I needed to see people, to see life out there, that I was still a part of this world. So I
Hmm.
always tried to get out of the house. So I kept at my 1,000 steps level, but that was it for the day. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think with the group I started, I was the most anxious.
Yeah.
And
I remember
I
you were
really
very
needed,
anxious. Mhm.
yeah, I was the most anxious of the whole group, and I needed constant reassurance, and I needed to really grasp the concept before I could, yeah, really let go of my fears. And I know after my first very mean AP, I really felt like I was hit by a bus, and I just had started the program, and I was yeah, guided by Adrian. She really like virtually took my hand, and I asked so many questions, and I think she was exhausted by all my long text messages full of anxiety. um, but yeah, I came out of it, and from that on, it was only upward and forward, because I saw that it worked, and still there was, of course, fear through every AP, that now is the time when I overdid it. Now I won't forward. But I tracked it on my calendar myself, and you only see AP upwards, AP upward, AP upwards. So yeah, when I catched on all the things you guys try to teach us, it was, yeah, I was just getting better and better.
Mhm. And what was that like? Because we did notice like a big mind shift in you. It's like
Mhm.
very, very anxious, super anxious in the beginning, really utilizing the text feature, the texting the coaches. But then all of a sudden it's like, hey, where's Melanie? Where like she's not
Yeah,
messaging us anymore. But it's like something clicked and
yeah,
you started doing really well. Like it's almost like the concepts, it finally made sense. And
yeah.
then you were responding really well. So what do you think helped that happen? Was it just repetition or was it a big win you had?
Uh, Yes, on one side it was totally repetition and the constant reassurance. Like I just needed someone to remind me, because my caveman brain, you always like to call it, just needed someone to tell me it will get better. You will get through this. You did this over and over again. You will this time as well. And I saw the results. I saw me getting better and better, and there came a point where my brain was working on itself, saying the things Adrian would say, like just
Mhm.
hang in there, you will get better. And it's, I think it's also my love for everything sports related. We try to get me back to health over yeah, my love for walking and cycling and stuff. And so we expanded this, and I think the joy of being able to move again was a big factor for me. I think it's
Mhm.
my individual word, but over that I was able to get my cognitive energy back and finally get back to work.
Mhm. Yeah, and then we remember we talk about these hockey stick moments in recovery
Yeah.
where some people they could feel like they're stagnant or even
Mhm.
dipping a little bit. They're like, "Why am I not making progress? Why am I not making progress?" And then boom, the progress
Yeah,
just takes off like almost like a rocket ship. And we saw
yeah.
that for you. It was super cool to see. But what was one of the first big mind shifts you had? Do you think something that you remember where things clicked? either something on a call or a win you had or a realization where it really changed the game?
Yeah, I think it was everyone I told in the group calls. Being cheered on is giving me so much. Yeah, it gives so much energy and reassurance to people, and also to be surrounded by like-minded people. But I think for me, it was really every sporty activity I did, because it causes so much joy in me. And a big factor is like my new, not so new right now, boyfriend, because he showed me what life is for normal people again. Like, you get so alienated with being alone at home. Like, I live by myself, and sometimes, sure, friends visit and see you in your pitiful state, but they can't do much about it. And I was at a point where I could, yeah, to see other people and like start in everyday life together. And he, I don't know if my focus shifted so much on this new love that I just didn't notice anymore that my life became pretty normal with him. And I just, of course, I tried to be capable as much as I could to see him and meet him and do things, but he made everything so easy, and I was constantly happy. So I think the positive emotions overflooded my system.
Mhm.
And it was constantly reassured. It's like, it's still nowadays when I'm in his presence, I feel way more calm. So I think he is my personal second key away from my love for sport.
Yeah, that's amazing. And let's dive into the nitty-gritty, like in terms of things in terms of advice you could give people, right? There's lots of people watching this right now. They're also
Mhm.
couch bound or housebound, or they're where you were, about a year ago, or just over a year ago when you were at rock bottom, and maybe they're losing hope and they're completely lost. What's some what's a practical tip you could give them for recovery? For me, I always tell people respond well to symptoms. You're
Yeah.
not crashing. It's an adjustment period.
God, yes.
What are some tips you could tell them? I know there's so many to choose from, but if you had to like come up with something, what would you want to tell Melanie, you know, of January last year, when you were
Yeah.
in the trenches?
I think the line I would have needed in my everyday was, "You won't die from it." Yeah, because I was so anxious that my heart would stop, or that I would get a heart attack, or that I would, yeah, end up not being able to get out of bed again. But the anxiety was my prison, and I
Mhm.
had to learn to trust my body again. And I needed someone to, yeah, to reassure me that I could do. Also, giving me like what do you say, a path to walk. Like, just don't overdo it. Just do this and this, and then react good to the signals your body is showing you, because your body loves you and it doesn't want you to die. And it also it's like all the time it thinks you're in danger, but you're not, and you have to relearn and relearn safety for your body. So you won't die from it. Is,
Mhm.
I think, the sentence I would have needed. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
that was the ultimate
very
fear.
similar to me, because
Yeah,
as soon as my doctor said, "You can't die from this, it can't kill you," um, it changed everything. I was like, "Really?" Because it really feels like it. It feels like it's gonna kill me, and it's trying to kill me. And he
yeah,
said, "No, it's not. Miguel, you're in a wheelchair right now, but you could go walk outside, cross the street, and come back. Yes,
yeah,
you will probably have a really intense flare up. It's gonna suck, but you're not gonna die." And just knowing that, it like took off this
yeah,
prison that I was in. I didn't feel claustrophobic anymore
yeah,
or held hostage um, by the symptoms. So that
yeah.
line changed everything for me as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, my dad is always an optimist, and he also said, "You can do this. You can go and do your chores and get some food and stuff. You will always be able to do it, but you have to just do it and not be anxious about it." But it's easier said than done. And I
Mhm,
think for me, the point was being told this by people that survived this thing and just
mhm.
went back to their lives. So the coaches were a big factor for me. Yeah, being, yeah, coached by people that already overcome it. I mean, of course, I trust my dad, but he doesn't. He wasn't experiencing the symptoms that I had. I mean, he has fibromyalgia, so he knows how to deal with pain and not letting anxiety take over. But I always said, yeah, I know you can relate to me, but it's for me, it's like a life or death situation.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy, like how real it feels that sometimes you feel like you're gonna die, but
yeah,
it never happens. You always you seem to make it through the crash or the adjustment period, but the next time
yeah,
it happens again, it's like you forget that you made it through so many times because the fear it's so
totally.
real,
Yeah, and
and
I'm a happy person. I'm like glowing all day and smiling all day, but that even sobers me up. So the mood
yeah.
is a bit low right now. Yeah,
Exactly.
just thinking back at the times, it's just. I mean, it feels so far away right now, but I still can. I can totally feel relate to the Melanie that I was a year ago. Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty recent if you think about it, but it was a
yeah,
completely different life. It's crazy. I remember my first year of recovery.
hmm,
That first year, so much had happened. It felt like I lived, half a lifetime. From the time I got out of the hospital or the time I started learning how to get out of this and
yeah,
recover to even just 1 or 2 years later, that felt like 10 years because
yeah.
you're adding in all these different things in life. Time goes by actually very slow because
It
every
does.
month is different as you start to
Yeah.
add
Every
things.
day it just dragged on. If you can't do nothing, if your capacity is so low that you can't like do stuff that even distracts you from your everyday suffering, this is, I mean, it's madness. It's really,
Mhm.
I feel with everyone who is still in the situation, and yeah, I hope they don't give up and maybe give your program a chance because it was a lifesaver for me.
Mhm. Yeah, and let's talk about the isolation part of it, because
Yes. Uh-huh.
when you when you're going through this journey, it's so hard to find people to relate to and find a positive source that can
Yeah.
help you. Like doctors, you were lucky you found a very good doctor, but she
Yeah.
didn't really know what was going on, right? We were trying different things.
Yeah.
Also, the family, they're supportive, but they don't really understand. Same with
Right.
friends. So it
Yeah.
it becomes very isolating. You feel very alone, like you're the only one in the world going through this. But
Mhm.
what was it like coming onto the calls or being in this group where people actually understand what you're going through and you no longer feel like you're going crazy? Like, what was
Yeah.
that like getting into
That
the
was great.
community?
I mean, I had read all my symptoms in Facebook groups before, so there are people outside of the program that know what I'm talking about. But they only, yeah, I only said I don't know how to go on about this. I'm clueless how to live my life anymore with this, and they also were pressured by their health insurances because here in Germany they always try to put you in a rehab facility to let you do sports. Sure, give you a training plan, getting back, but you could read stories about people that ended up in wheelchairs. So I had to battle with my health insurance, pretty much about it, and to give me the time to heal. And yeah, thanks to my GP, I didn't have to because she always advocated for me getting more time to heal. But yeah, having people going through the same things, but also having the knowledge that we got through you and applying it, and you could share your own wins. So it was people cheering for you and being happy with you, and you could also hear about other people's wins that were inspiring you. It was for me, it was great to hear from people that had caught COVID and got long COVID and were at a much higher capacity than me because I knew sky's the limit. It's like I'm right here right now, but and they are there. I have to do it mirror style. So I
Mhm.
was here, they were there, but I knew I could get up to it. So that was so inspiring, and to hear the problems of everyone else and see it just matched it. There are mind problems, and people are asking so good questions that I wouldn't come up with, but the answers will help me so much, and it was just yeah, it was inspiring and yeah, just really helpful to hear about all this.
Mhm. That's amazing. And
Yeah.
So though you shared a bunch of stuff that you did to help you get better,
Yeah.
that you implemented. Let's talk about maybe some of the mistakes you made in recovery, just like one
Much.
or two,
Many.
maybe three. Like, what is some advice you could give people of what
Yeah.
not to do? Having gone through this, you kind of covered some earlier, like tracking heart rate, things like that.
Yes.
But
Don't do
yeah, what
this.
can you share with people here that will be able to help them having gone through this yourself?
Yeah. Um, See the glass is half full. Don't be a pessimist, be an optimist. Please, please, please don't give up. It's there is a way out of this. And don't track your heart rate. That's a solid point.
Definitely don't track your
Please
heart rate.
don't do
Bad
this as
idea.
well. No, 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 no. I was forbidden to do it, and after I don't got parts anymore. I have no problems. My heart rate is so chill. I'm at my bradycardia again, like about 50 at night.
Oh,
So
very
you
healthy.
can come down from it. And like, oh, what did I wrong? I did so much wrong. Don't give into your anxiety.
Yeah,
Don't
anxiety.
follow the path of those thoughts. Don't do all those horror stories. Don't read it because it doesn't help. Like the this illness is so badly researched, and there is so much myth and stuff about it, and people giving false advice. I know they might want your best, I think, especially in the groups, and they try to help you not get worse, but it's not going to get you better as well. Just
Mhm.
pacing yourself, and of course, being anxious to crash. Have to take my fingers again for this one. To crash, it's just it builds so much pressure, and you're getting anxious of motion and living, and that will be your yeah, your end boss. I call it
Yeah.
end boss. I don't got the word
It's
for
gonna
it.
be the biggest
But
roadblock, basically. That's
yeah,
gonna be the
absolutely. Yeah.
biggest thing dragging recovery down is that negativity. Because yeah, you're right. There's a lot of people out there who I think at the deep level they want to help, but
Hmm.
the thing is that they haven't recovered themselves. So how can
Yeah.
you give advice when you're not recovered? It can make things worse because there's a lot of fear
I mean,
mongering.
I think they just don't know better because it's the things we got teached here in Germany. Especially the like what's called like cups, like you got 5 cups a day and you can spend it for different activities, but you shouldn't take a sixth cup
Hmm.
because you will take it from another day and then you will go down the yeah. And I think they mean well, but to mean something well isn't to do something well. And yeah, I know your brain is a tricky one, like getting you caught up all in those bad thoughts, and it's hard to see something else. So maybe you have to get your own happy dad
Hmm.
that says you will get through this. But my recommendation will be to get your happy coaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would absolutely get you through this. Yeah, and I love like how every coach of the program got a different approach, and I mean I love Adrian, and it was so great for me to have her as my coach because our experiences were so similar. But I also like how like for instance Junior has always a funny quip on its tongue, but he's also very strict with people, and it's like totally balances it out. So you have to you laugh about it at the first in the first place, but it really settles in your brain, and afterwards you think about it and think, yeah, he's right. I gotta kick my own
Hmm.
ass about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they work as a
and
team to, like, just guide you and keep you on the right track and really
right,
spot things you can't see
yeah,
sometimes, and it's also like having a safety net. Because like, think of how many times you had a flare-up and
yeah.
how much reassurance you needed. Like, if that chat wasn't
Yes.
there, who
Yeah.
knows? It could have been a different story, right? You needed
I
that
would
chat.
have been lost. And I pretty much need both side of it. I need someone to kick my ass. I always had, but I also need someone to to just give me a hug and tell me
Mhm.
everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. Well, it's been a crazy journey you've been on, but it was really cool to see your hockey stick moment. You know,
Yeah,
when you first came in, there was some struggles. It was difficult, but you kept chipping away at it. Like you kept trying,
Yeah.
you kept showing up to the calls, and then next thing you know, you had that mind shift and things clicked. So, let's fast forward to today. What
Mhm.
would you say is different now than
Everything.
13 months ago? And there's so many different
Yeah.
things that maybe let's start physically.
Ooh,
Physically,
sorry.
what's different now than when you were in the
Um,
trenches?
well, I had to stop my sporty activities to be able to go back to work. So right now I could cycle for a bit, and I'm about to start my gym routine, like at home gym routine.
Mhm.
Um,
And how
but
far are you cycling again? You cycled pretty far, right? Like, what does that
yes,
usually look
40 kilometers. And I let you on a little secret. I was riding for 35 kilometers 2 weeks ago. I mean, I paid the price and I was tired every day after work, but still so worth it.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So
Well,
I
that's
have
even, like, probably some
little
deconditioning
cycle.
and yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably some deconditioning, but that's normal. Like, I'd be tired if I ran
I
by
absolutely do.
35
Yeah, there's
kilometers.
no muscles left whatsoever. Absolutely not. And I can't wait to get them back. But it's not my main focus right now. I mean, I love my sport. So I do long walks with the dog and still try to ride my bike as often as I can. And yeah, well, reintegrate some weightlifting. But right now, it's like having a life, like going back to work, seeing my colleagues, being able to do what I love because I am very, very lucky. I really love my job. I always had. And yeah, to be surrounded by people that I love, doing things that I love, is way more important right now than being able to do my sports. That is a big shift because sport was my everything. And I'm way more zen, as I said. I'm so more
Mhm.
relaxed. I can see it when I compare myself to my boyfriend, for instance. He is worried about many things, and I always think that was me. That was me a year ago. Absolutely, I can totally relate to him. But now I'm way more chill because when you're at a place where you think I would end this life that I'm living right now, then you are so grateful for everything that comes afterwards. And so much problems people see in their lives are so minor compared to not being healthy. And yeah, I recently lost a grandma, and those are normally situations where people appreciate life once again, but they fastly move on from that point. But being trapped for months and months in such a situation just really gives you a different outlook. And having people like guiding you through this and giving you advice you could not only take to get out of this, but also to have another outlook on life, being way more positive. I mean, I was like my dad before, but I lost way more of this anxious touch of my mom. So I'm total optimist. Every situation that comes up now, I think I can get through this. I mean, I was at such a dark point, and look at me now. Why shouldn't I be able to do this?
Mhm.
Yeah, it
Wow.
helps with when stuff. And as I said, I was woo. I'm sorry. I'm able to relax, something I was never able to before. It's
Mhm.
like I could meditate on the spot. Give me 5 minutes, and I would say, no thoughts whatsoever, and not thinking about anything is something. It's a totally new experience for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you built and you're still building the 2.0 version of
yeah,
Melanie, right?
totally
And
am.
you've come such a
I
long way. And
love
what you said is
her.
yeah, what you said is so true about, being grateful for things.
Yeah,
Usually in life, it's only when bad stuff happens
yeah,
or something sad happens that we remember to be grateful and appreciate the small things. But with CFS, when you get basically your life stripped away from you, you learn to appreciate everything. And just think of all the times prior to getting CFS. How
mhm,
grateful were you for food? Kind of grateful, but not really. How grateful were you for hanging out with friends or being able to even walk around? We just took
yeah,
it for granted, right? It was just a normal thing that everybody should get to do. But then
absolutely.
we realize very quickly once you get bedridden or couch bound and those things are taken away, that is a privilege, that is a gift. So I'm the same way. Every day feels like a gift. And it's I
Yeah,
think with you as well, you probably notice stressors can come up, life can happen, but you can always
Definitely.
use this CFS experience as a reference, and
Yeah.
it's no longer a stressful day. You can be appreciate it, you
Right.
know?
And I can turn a stressful day into a relaxing evening at least.
Mhm.
That's I couldn't let go of anything before, but now I say that was this part of the day, but now it's about me and it's about relaxing and calming down and appreciating the little stuff around me, like my dog. It's in the background, waiting to be cuddled. That's
Yeah,
what I would do afterwards.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So what do you
it's the
think
little things that always have been.
yeah, what do you think motivated you when you were in the trenches? Like, a lot
Yeah.
of people, they have that hope, but what was your thing? Because for me, it was like, I just can't give up. I can't. This is not my life path. I don't accept this as my reality. Even though it was my reality at the time, I was like, this can't be it. This can't be the final chapter. There's way more life to live. And I refused to accept it, even though some days I did feel like giving up. So, what was kind of motivating you during those dark times?
Yeah, I mean, I had dark times in my life before. I suffered from depressions for many years, and always at this time I needed something to cling on, and I already knew deep down in me that life is beautiful, that there are so many miracles you could experience, and I love to travel to meet new people, see new perspectives. That was one of the reasons why I started to study communications, because I wanted to know what motivates people, what makes them do what they do, what makes them build their life the way they are. And I always cared about other people and seeing the world, just experiencing what, I don't know, God or anyone anything else that built all the stuff gave us. So that was a big motivation for me to be back in nature. Nature is something that gives me so much energy, and to be able to conquer a mountain again. I mean, there I did in small steps and with help of modern technology. But I still stood on the Zugspitze, the biggest mountain here in Germany and
Ooh.
Austria. Like they share a point of the mountain. But I was there last December for my birthday, because I always travel to Austria for my birthday, because I love those winter wonderland in the mountains, and they give me so much energy and calmness, and to be able to experience this just only once again was my motivation to get back there, because that's my
Mhm.
yearly tradition, and I had to be able to get out there again. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard they got some really cool stuff over there in Germany. I definitely have to go to Germany and visit. There's so many thrivers in the
Yes,
program
there
from
is.
Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
there's
we don't got any help here. I mean,
yeah,
it's not like nobody wants to help, they just don't know any better. So I'm
yeah.
very happy that I always love the English language, and being able to speak it just a little bit. And so I mean, that was a gift, that I'm so interested in languages, that I was capable to research on English, because you guys are so much in front of us and our doctors with your knowledge, and I was happy to be able to find you and other like motivational stories on YouTube.
Mhm. Yeah. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
And it might be interesting to think about, but
Mhm.
with recovery, because you've gotten your life back and you're
Yeah.
seeing the rewards of all the hard work you put in. You've also seen people in the program recover as well. What do you think are the top traits of people who recover? Even just general traits like,
Hmm.
you know, being positive or having an optimistic outlook or
Yeah.
always being solution focused. What do you think the
Hmm.
top traits are?
I think it's having faith, absolutely, being able to let go and just rely on other people and believe in what they say. That was a big point for me to not I'm a big control freak. I need to have
I'm the
control
same.
over everything, so I hate to fly because someone else is
I'm
flying.
exactly the same. I'm
Oh god,
exactly
I
the
hate it
plane
so
was
much.
I was on an airplane ride 2 days ago, and there was so
Yeah,
much turbulence, we were getting thrown around, and
yeah,
I was like, I wish I could fly the plane right now because at least I'm in control, but I
Yeah,
was
yeah, totally.
sweating. It was
Yeah,
crazy. But
I hate turbulences. The last time I got one, I was like, okay, God, thanks. That was pleasant in my stomach. Thanks for the feeling, but not again.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
yeah. Having faith is absolutely the point to be able to let go and trust someone else to guide you through it. Of course, a positive outlook. I mean, as I already said, I'm always anxious at first, but then my dad's side takes over, and I get optimistic again. So that and you have to yeah, like really, like you said, like chip away on the big roadblocks. You being consistent and not giving up, and being like really believing in getting better is a big factor. Like I know some friends, I would really call them, that I met at the Jumpstart program, that are holding back because they are still fearful of moving more and risking stuff already after a year. And I think that's holding them back. Just it's like Nike. I don't know what you
Just do
call it.
it.
Yeah, just
Nike. Yeah.
absolutely, just do it. Just take a leap of faith. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's some great advice. So, obviously you turned your life around in about a year, and
Mhm.
we've had the privilege of helping you do that and working with you, and seeing you grow. What would you say to somebody who's on the fence of starting like an online program, like
Yeah.
you know what we have at CFS Recovery, and they're wanting to join, but they're on the fence, they're afraid of
Mhm.
making a mistake, um, and maybe even you had some hesitation in the beginning, but what would you say to somebody having gone through it?
Yeah, absolutely. I did a very thorough research about all the programs that were out there. And as I said, I started the Gupta program, but it wasn't my way because I needed way more guidance and someone that really took my hand. And for me, it was really not it was much money I invested into this, because here in Germany you don't have to cover your own costs for the doctors and stuff. That's covered by a health insurance, and there are many options you could choose with long COVID. Like I was about to pay for oxygen therapy, that would be very costly, but I knew I needed someone to really be there all the time, take my hand, guide me through this. And yeah, I had the feeling when I watched the videos that this was the way to go, and I just had to take a leap of faith. Just trust my gut, because and instead of all the things other people said me, like limit yourself, you said don't, you have to limit, sure, in a yeah, in a narrow path, but still leave it, go out of that path, and just yeah, do more stuff. Don't be afraid. Just yeah, like what do you always say about the symptoms? I'm sorry, I just lost the sentence.
The symptoms are an opportunity to get better, something like that, or
No, the other one.
respond well to symptoms.
Yeah, right.
The golden rule.
Respond well to symptoms, and that really, I mean it. It sounds so simple, and at the point where I was, it is too simple, I would say, because you couldn't grab that this was really the sentence you could follow and you would get better. And if you need someone explain it to you and really give you reassurance, do the program. Absolutely. Yeah. If you
Mm,
are able to grasp the only this sentence only and follow it through your journey, you will be healthy again afterwards. Absolutely. But if you're like me, if you're on the anxious side of people and need reassurance and need someone that was there, been there, done that, then you have to join. Absolutely, take the risk.
mhm. Yeah, and so for you, would you say overall it's been a good investment?
Yeah, it's been the money I invested in this program. I have I got back in lifetime, in happiness, in joy, and in yeah, getting more and more happy sparks every day, like in
Mhm.
experiences, in time with family and friends and love. So it was the best investment of my life. It really was.
Yeah,
I
and
would
you
absolutely say.
can't put a price
No.
on those things. So,
Yep.
you
Absolutely.
know, my last question is, looking back at your whole journey with CFS, right? It was about 2 years or so.
Right.
Um, but I'm sure it felt way longer, probably felt like 10 years.
Yeah, it
Right
did.
now, when you look back at it, do you look at it as like a bad thing that happened, or are you like almost grateful for it because it gave you the opportunity to level up? Like, how do you see your experience with CFS now?
Yeah, it's really mixed because if I could choose, would I go through all of this? No, not again. Absolutely not. Because it's like, I mean, it was like 1.5 years I lost of my life, but it felt like five. Like
Mhm.
all the lives of my friends went on, but mine didn't. It was on pause. It's like I'm not 33. I'm 30, and I haven't experienced the last years, and I lost a lot, but I also gained a lot. So it's really a tricky question because I'm
It's tricky,
grateful
yeah.
to be at the point where I'm right now, to be able to relax, and it really upped my life quality. It does. But I don't know. It's yeah,
It's a tricky one.
grateful, yes, for the experience, but I wished I wasn't. It wasn't necessary for me to go all the way down. I wished I had
Mhm.
a constant level from which I could move back again, but obviously I had to be this low to yeah, get the messages.
Yeah,
It it
I'm
had
the same
it
way.
had to be. I know it had to be. So yeah, I would change my answer and say yes, I'm grateful. It happened the way it should be,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
everything in life.
I'm the same way. I'm very grateful it happened. Would I go back and do it again? No way. No, no, no. It's not in a million years. It was brutal.
Please not.
Like,
Nope.
even though we know what to do now and how to recover, I mean, the symptoms are still symptoms. Like, you're
Mhm.
still stuck in bed or on the couch. It still sucks. So,
Yeah.
I would definitely not wanna do it again, but I'm happy it happened. I'm happy that phase of my life is that cycle has been completed, that chapter has
Oh,
been
no.
completed. We
Yeah.
did the work, and now we're
Yeah.
reaping the benefits of doing that hard work and going through the
Absolutely.
fire that
Yeah.
life presented to us. So,
Absolutely.
Melanie, thank you so much for, taking time out of your day to do this and share your story with people. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. I would love to do this again, 6 or 8 or 12 months down the road and see how much better your life is, because it's going to continue to get better, and we want to show people that. So, if you guys are watching this right now, I really hope you took away some value. This is Melanie's story. She's one of many people who get their lives back after going through long COVID or CFS or fibromyalgia. Recovery is absolutely possible. Like, the doctors told her she had CFS and ME, and now she's out biking 35 kilometers, working again. So if she can do it, she's not some superhuman alien. She's just human, like all of us, and she did it. So if you had a big takeaway or got some value out of this, comment down below. What was your biggest takeaway from Melanie? Right? What was your biggest takeaway? And if you did need some extra help, we're always looking for more people to help and leave our impact on the world. You could click the link down below. You could apply for our programs and see if this is going to be a good fit for you. And if it is, we would love to help. And Melanie, thank you so much for you guys watching this right now. Always remember, you are just one mind shift away from living a life of thriving health, just like Melanie is living right now. So thank you so much, Melanie. Cheers.
Was a pleasure. Bye, Miguel.